Hello, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this episode 15 of Fighter Jet Roundtable Season 2. Well, those of you who can, continue to do basic math knows that this is the second to last episode before the round of 16 will officially kick off. That means we have only 2 more winners, including this episode. So, get to building and submitting if you want to get your shot at the Round Table Victory Circle. Either way, let's go ahead and get on down to the Watchtower and the Round Table and see what we have in store for you all today. And here we are with our first 2 competitors for this episode. We have the FJRT2 sent in by Callsign Blaze and the Moonshot NF01 sent in by the Milkomedian Odyssey, otherwise known as WaffleTech Gamma, currently known as WaffleTech Moonshot. So probably just going to call him WaffleTech in the intro thing. So that's who I'm talking about. Anyway, he's actually been around the block a few times, so it'll be interesting to see how he holds up coming into this new era of BDA updates and things. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look and see what we've got here. This is the FJRT2, which, well, I mean, you look at it, it basically looks like a reversed F-22. That, you have these, canards and all their stuff instead of everything else. But over here, we can see that it has AIM-9Xs, GAU-22s, Meteors, PL-10s, and QAMs for that special close-range death. Pretty cool looking, actually. Interesting looking aircraft. I don't know if this was actually based on a real concept, or if it was based on the Project Wingman aircraft that basically is a combination of a J-20 and an F-22, which this basically looks like. So, not sure. Not really sure. Either way, it looks to be a very cool, very sleek-looking aircraft. Not sure how stealthy it is, but it's got some nice-looking air brakes there, looking pretty cool. And it's got an outward... it's got missiles clamped onto the outside of the fuselage there on the hull. So, well, pretty cool. That being said, let's go ahead and get over to the other side. So over here we have the Moonshot NF01, or I'm just going to be calling them the Moonshots. A nice, very nice custom color job here, actually, which is due to the conformal decals, among other things, looking quite nice. Simplistic, and yet very sleek. Definitely digging that. Plus the OPT things just kind of give it that extra bit of oomph. So definitely looking nice as far as appearances. Then we have AIM-9Xs, QAMs, and the thing that's particularly interesting that caught my eye in the spaceplane hangar when I was checking this thing out is, we get in here, it does have a BK-27, but it also has the GSH 300 2K, which is only using armor-piercing ammunition as opposed to high-explosive. So they do have different firing rates and things, but it should be cool to see how those guns work together as far as their ability to deal death to the enemy. In addition, this aircraft is powered by a single Saturn engine and is very, very light. In fact, it has the absolute minimum missile requirement because of that. Although I had noticed he had only given himself 2 AIM-9X missiles because he misunderstood that the special weapons don't actually take up a missile slot. So, just out of courtesy, I did the liberty of giving him a clone of his AIM-9Xs there. So he's got 4 instead of 2 for nothing. Don't say I'm not looking out for my competitors. I want to make sure they have the best chance that they can when I can give it. And that being said, a very sleek looking plane with a very cool and interesting loadout. Let's go ahead and get these two competitors into the sky and see which one will be moving on to the finals. And we are back for the beginning of round one. Let's start these things and get them into the skies. Engines now roaring. Moonshots, despite, again, being with those single Saturns already overtaking the FA-22s as far as capability. Those F-20, that Mark II F-22 engine that it's using is not the most powerful. But I guess we'll have to see how all it performs. All of it together, it is a beautiful day here at the round table. And, well, maybe it'll be even more beautiful once they start shooting. And competition starts. Slight hiccup as it recalculates. Neither of these aircraft are particularly stealthy, so I'm not anticipating too much. Although, the F-22s, or, well, the FA-22s are put together by, this point, callsign Blaze, who's fairly familiar with the ins and outs of the building system. Here we go. Missiles coming in, being evaded by the moonshots. Very close to terrain. Let's go ahead and get behind these aircraft, just because they look so cool. I want to actually watch them. As we come in here, moving in to strike at the FA-22s. Popping chaff and flares. AI trying to be discerning when it comes to when it's popping those. Almost a hit on that one FA-22. The other one is being shot at. Let's pop to that as it looks much more active in what it's doing. Ooh, okay. FA-22 smacked by a quam from the moonshots. Let's see how badly damaged it is. Which one is that? This one, quite heavily damaged, as a matter of fact. Not looking particularly good. Moonshot now getting struck by a quam, not faring as well as its friend, being knocked out. This very close-range AIM-9X absolutely just tearing apart the FA-22, not swapping targets. There it is, killed very quickly. Now we've only got guns in this fight. That dual stream of some armor piercing. Oh! Wow, okay. And, ooh, geez, all right. And very quickly, a quick end for round one. Let's go ahead and get into round two. And once again, we stand at the round table and the watchtower as we send these two aircraft into the skies. Moonshots taking a nice and very quick victory with that combination of guns. I was surprised at how fast those aircraft managed to get disintegrated by gunfire. So who knows? Maybe that combination is pretty strong. And competition starts once again. Already both aircraft turning. The moonshots actually getting on target faster, though that might have been where they, due to where they were in their orbit when they were coming around to try and attack. And we've got meteors coming in at long range for the FA-22s, since first missiles are definitely away. Let's just go ahead and wait a moment. And there they go. PL-10s now coming in, fired from those aircraft. Let's go ahead and let's watch from the FA-22s this time, as they now come in on their targets. I'm actually, let's see, how much hit points? 2,800, so that's not an insignificant amount of hit points there. Those guns, still putting up. Those guns. Who knows, maybe the armor-piercing capability actually matters more than the high explosive. Well, either way, it does seem to hurt, because it cored right through the rear of that aircraft. Missiles now flying Quams being launched toward the moonshots. Could be anyone. Quams will be trying to rotate. Moonshot now on the tail of this FA-22. A nice track there with a close-range weapon. Moonshot again being killed. And those guns just chewing through that enemy aircraft. Leaving basically nothing. And that's just a cockpit with no weapons. Exploded by the debris cleanup. Thank you. It is now a 1. Uh-oh. Whoa! Now, officially a 1v1 here. This could be anybody's aircraft. However, looks like the, boy, that is terrifying. Looks like the FA-22, well, what's left of them anyway, manages to win round 2. Let's go ahead and get into a round 3. And we are now back for the final round between these two competitors. Whoever ends up winning this one is going to the finals. And, well, there's no telling who it's going to be. So far, the FA-22s have managed to get the most out of their missiles when eliminating an enemy target. However, the Moonshots have managed to just spit hot lead and eradicate its foes. So, I guess we'll have to see which one of these two aircraft will ultimately reign victorious. And competition starts for round 3. If, well, if tradition holds, the FA-22s are going to be getting their meteor missiles off first, and sure enough, they do. Now, streaking across the play space, Moonshots, yep, diving and attempting to evade those missiles, long-range missiles. Those meteors are plenty deadly, but the evasion routines that have been tweaked and edited by the BDA guys have, well, it's much harder to kill stuff at range. And now we have PL-10s coming in at a reasonable distance. Quams now being launched at the FA-22s. 2 Quams, they're coming in for that aircraft. They miss and immediately start coming around for pass number 2. Moonshot's now trying to evade Quams. And that FA-22 being slapped by a Quam. Might be another Quam in its immediate future there. Nope. Manages to hit the dirt. Oh, direct shot to that Moonshot getting hit by a Quam. It's now officially a 1v2, technically. So let's go ahead and, oh! F-20, FA, okay. The other plane got killed by a, looked like it got killed by an AIM-9. Uh-oh. This could be bad. Ooh. Yikes. That gun kill. Nasty, nasty stuff. Well, it's taken him a lot of entries. But it seems that the FA-22 will be going on to the finals of episode 15. And so we have cleared the field in order to make way for our next 2 competitors for this episode. We have the Type 2 Interceptor sent in by Geoplex and the F-120 Civic sent in by Legolac, or Lego for short. Either way, these 2 aircraft look very different from one another, so let's go ahead and get on down here, take a look at the Interceptor. Interceptor, well, it looks very, well, kind of 6th gen stealthy brick. Made entirely out of procedural parts, or procedural wings at the very least. A little bit of hit points there, and not sure what those are going to do, and some of that, and, well, they're, it's Well, they do look like they'll be able to go quite quickly at the very least, due to these turbojet engines. As far as their weapon loadout, they've got pulse lasers, AIM-120Ds, and AIM-9Xs. So should hopefully be fairly powerful dogfighters, or something of that nature. I think Geo said he was trying to go for boom and zoom, but I guess we'll have to see how that plays out. As far as Kerbals, our little Kerbal friend is here in right there. I decided to let this go. This part doesn't really need to be here, but you know, basically, for the most part, other than that one thing, it's it does not clip into the Kerbal, and well, I couldn't easily fix it, and I wanted to record the episode. So that is not a problem enough that it's, you know, it's not like a core part of the aircraft or anything. So, you know, whatever. I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide this time, Geo. Okay? Anyway, other than that, let's go ahead and see what these interceptors will be fighting. And so, over here on Team B, the team originally had a different name, but I wasn't sure if it was racist or not, as a joke, so I decided to change it to Team B. Hey, just watching out for my ass, please don't kill me. That being said, let's take a look at what we've got. We've got standard AIM-9X loadout with meteors for long ranges. That plane was actually one missile over the limit, so I removed one of the meteor missiles, so it's just a little less there. Probably the cut, I imagine, that Lego would make himself, if I had to guess. Anyway, so now taking a look at what we have here. Other than that, once again we have the GSH guns, a very unique choice. Not a weapon we've actually seen very much. These, however, are the explosive ones, armor-piercing explosive ammunition on those guns. I haven't seen a whole lot of them in action, so I'm anticipating this to be quite an interesting aircraft, especially knowing who it's coming from, and the fact that in addition to those guns, it's also packing quams. So, let's see if Boom and Zoom can beat just Boom. Ahead to the watchtower. All right, Kaz Kermit is strapped in. Let's go ahead and get for round 2. Not sure why they rotated, but looks like they have plenty of flight capability there, so I won't worry about it. They're still going in opposite directions. It's all good. And we're going to go ahead and manually start this competition since, well, the Type 2s seem to have some problems. Their brains seem to be a bit mushy. So we have the Type 2s and the Civics making their way toward one another. Just based off of how they look, I would have to say that the Interceptors are going to get their missiles off first. That's just my guess, though. Just a guess. And what do you know? Kaz is right. They fire the AIM-120s, getting ready to, well, attempt to blow the Civic out of the sky. Civics are, dropping very quickly in altitude now to try to evade those 120Ds. And we've got several collisions there on the ground. The Interceptors seem to be going with a high altitude strategy. That being said, let's go ahead and watch from the Civic's point of view, as they're going to have to close in on the distance. And meanwhile, the first Type 2 Interceptor, it appears, is actually extending, trying to make use of those, well, those boom and zoom engines. Meanwhile, Looks like it might have been a standoff blast, though. I'm not actually seeing much in the way of damage on this aircraft, so good for Geo. Hemorrhaging flares to avoid that AIM-9X, still extending now. This is one of the first times we've actually seen a boom and zoom fighter try to do its thing. This is on the newest patch of BDA, so there might potentially be some weirdness, although probably not actually that much. That interceptor over there, though, looking like it's caught between, well, in a bad place. It is extending, making use of those very powerful engines to pull away from the enemy aircraft that is coming after it. Though the Civics are eventually going to run out of missiles. And then it's just going to basically come down to guns. This aircraft has pulse lasers. Oh, and a Quam slapping. Oh, and a Meteor slapping this one. Ah, yes, boom and zoom. You can't outrun a Meteor. No matter how fast you're going, unless you are going like Mach 5. And I don't think any of the aircraft in the competition can do that. That being said, this aircraft here lost its verticals. Let's actually hit that button to see what's going on. It doesn't look like it has much in the way of, well, any real control that I can tell. Looks basically like it's just going in a straight line, and I'm pretty sure it's probably going to plow straight into the ground, just like this one is. Goodbye. And here we go, Type 2. Pull up, friend. Yes, that landing gear will certainly save you. Danny would be proud. The Civic wins round 1. And we have returned. I got Vessel Mover out and proceeded to spin the Civics around to make sure they were facing the right direction. And we're off to round 2. Let's see if the Civics can 2-0 the Interceptors. Alright, both the aircraft now definitely more than 20 kilometers apart. Starting competition now. I don't know what the heck is going on with the Interceptors, but they are just derpy. And the first Interceptors are getting their missiles off. Let's go ahead and well, let's watch from that perspective as they've been fired now. And I kind of want to see how fast this thing gets. Currently hovering around a thrust to weight of approximately 5.0, which is very high. And it's only going to get higher as it continues to accelerate. Now coming in at Mach 1.5, 1.75, Mach 2. Basically, as it's now screaming using those very powerful engines. Closing in on the Civic at Mach 2. Some slight maneuverability there to try to get into position. Oh, and it misses with its pulse lasers. If it had managed to get shots on the craft with that pulse lasers, that would have been a crippling blow to start off with. But now it's going on the extending, trying to keep its speed up. Once again, accelerating back to Mach 2. Let's see how the other Interceptor is doing. Missile tries to come in and hit it. Looks like it fails to do so, however. Right off the wingtip there. All right. This one losing speed rapidly, but still above. All right. Still now probably going to be able to keep its speed above Mach 1.5 as it turns in here. These aircraft are trying to rely on that speed. Continuing to fire missiles at this high speed. Pulse lasers now active as it tries to come in. Turned off afterburner. Pulling hard. And misses with the pulse laser. Being said, the other Interceptor managed to take a blast from a missile. It is still flying, however. Not sure how stable it is, but it is still in the air, and therefore it's still flying. Quam Type 2 smacking that one. This one, well, it's still flying. But I doubt it's going to be able to take many more missile hits like those. Civics are still launching missiles. That appeared to be a quam. These planes have proven they're not particularly good. They are actually out of chaff. And that interceptor decided it was much more fun to pile drive into terrain than continue to fight the battle here. So let's just go ahead and pull this down. It's trying to evade a quam. Quam comes in from above, dealing damage. Still not a knockout, though that one... oh, yep, that one took out the weapon manager. Well, farewell, interceptor. The only thing you managed to intercept was the ground and a lot of missiles. That being said, your winner for this set of fights is the Civic. So here we are for the episode 15 finals. Let's get these aircraft into the sky. So is Lego going to manage to win? Or will he get stepped on by Callsign Blaze? We'll just have to wait and see. All right, these are about 20. We're gonna start the competition now. Good luck to both of our finalists. Immediately, meteors are being fired from the Civics at the FA-22s. Obviously not the pinnacle of stealthiness as they close in. Meteors passing one another as these two aircraft proceed to try to evade them. Good evasions by both of these craft. Let's go ahead and, well, let's watch the Civics for this one, I think. Ooh, and a beautiful flying information. Look at that. They are being powered through the air by 4 engines. 2 of the Typhoon engines, as well as, are those Product 30s? No, Saturns. Jeez Louise, man. 2 Saturns and 2 Typhoons. These things have thrust to wait for days. And Meteor hitting one of the 22s. Aimed on X's now heading for the first 22. Another Meteor slapping it out of the sky. That is not good. These aircraft must not be all that capable of evasion. That Meteor, well, shouldn't have been that big of a problem. Oh, planes getting awfully close to smacking each other there. And we've got guns. GSH is lining up and taking shots. Ooh! I don't think there's really any weapons left for this. Nope. That is basically a dead craft. Well, I'm gonna call it there. There's no weapons, no way I can do anything. So we will be heading now into round 2. Here we are. This could be the final match of episode 15. The FA-22 is taking a beating from the Civics. Let's see if their beating streak continues. If it does, we'll be crowning an episode 15 champion soon. And the competition starts by itself this time. I didn't have to push the button. Although you guys didn't see it, all I did was switch to the F-22 that was behaving weirdly and made it gain altitude. So it actually got its butt in gear. That being said, we now have meteors closing in on both these aircraft. Civics firing first, as they do. This time, I think we will watch from the F-22s. Oh, and a long-range meteor strike. That's... well, without that wing, I don't have a whole lot of hope for this aircraft. In the very brief amount of time I actually flew it around, yeah, it's gonna be unable to recover. It's gone. Goodbye. And so let's watch this one. As is tradition, we're gonna watch the solo aircraft, but I don't anticipate very much happening here. Trying to fire missiles to engage missiles. Standoff blast there, taking off one of the verticals, as well as perhaps some of the countermeasure dispensers there. Managing to avoid close-range missile shots, but only just. Aircraft is not nimble, whereas the Civics appear to be incredibly nimble. Dropping flares to avoid close range. Pretty sure those are AIM-9Xs. And just like that, with a bit of explosive cannon death, I believe we have our victor for this episode. Just as a last potential trick, no weapons there. That craft is done. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know what that means. Your winner for episode 15 of Fighter Jet Roundtable is none other than the Civics, sent in by LEGO. Congratulations, LEGO. I know you took a long time to submit a design, and, well, as janky as these things look, you can't argue with their, capability for performance. Well done. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, after this episode, there is one episode remaining. One episode remaining. So, start submitting your stuff, because things is about to get pretty cramped. But until then, I have been Kaz. Happy building, and happy blasting.